The spirit of a woman shedding bloody tears will come to reveal the truth about her death. Don't miss one of the biggest investigations ever. The psychics will unravel the mysteries of a harrowing murder in Hollywood. This is Psychic Investigations, a channel of true and impressive stories. Here, people who call themselves clairvoyants investigate incredible mystical phenomena and resonant criminal cases using their supernatural abilities. Ulyána Bubnyúk from Ukraine has approached the psychics, asking them for help. The woman is 31. She lives in a house with 2 wonderful children and her husband's ghost.
I never thought I would ever ask them for help, that I'd ever have such a problem that I couldn't deal with myself.
The young woman feared that her late husband will kill her. Vasya died from a sudden heart attack, and immediately after the funeral, his ghost began terrorizing his wife.
I don't think there's something that can be compared to what is going on inside me.
Strange things have been happening to the woman, and she is constantly finding herself caught between life and death. Ulyána is panicked as she's certain that she's going to die soon.
It's very hard indeed. I'll never wish anything like this to anyone.
Ulyána claims it's all her fault because during her husband's funeral, unable to control herself from grief and despair, she shouted out terrible words over his coffin.
I asked him to take me with him and that I couldn't live without him.
Even after 7 years of marriage, Ulyána's love for her husband wasn't less than it was at the beginning of their relationship.
I didn't need any friends. I didn't need anybody. He was everything to me.
Strong and manly, Vasya was a caring father and an attentive husband. Whenever Ulyána thinks of his loving gaze and kind smile, her heart aches from despair.
This love even makes me afraid. I will always love you, always.
It appears that Ulyána's husband heard her plea to take her with him, because soon after the funeral, the woman found herself in the hospital with a serious brain concussion.
It was really something terrible, something awful.
Ulyána was taking her daughter to the kindergarten when she felt a touch.
I felt cold. It seemed something wanted to touch my neck, like this.
And the next moment, she felt a shove, and she suddenly fell.
I wasn't wearing heels or something. There was nothing I could trip over or stumble on, but I fell and hit my head badly.
The night after Ulyána returned home from the hospital, she saw her husband's ghost in her house. She recognized his face in the moonlight.
I was sleeping and then opened my eyes and saw his face. It was blurred, but I recognized his features. It was him.
But her husband's visit almost ended in tragedy. Ulyána got up from her bed to switch on the light.
I flicked the switch. It was functioning well. Everything was all right with it. But at that moment, it struck me with electricity.
The short circuit was so powerful that it sent Ulyána flying to her bed. A terrible burn mark appeared on her hand. The electricity was cut off all over the house.
I thought I'd had a stroke or something. I couldn't move. I was simply lying there, shocked.
The next day, Ulyána saw Vasya's ghost in the kitchen, and after that, a pan full of boiling water fell on the floor, as if somebody had pushed it down.
It poured over my ankle. I had burns that were so bad that I couldn't even wear shoes.
The woman was admitted to the hospital again, but no sooner had she returned than she experienced such horror that she still panics whenever she thinks about it. She heard Vasya's voice in the middle of the night.
He was calling me, Ulyána. I then sat up and recited Our Father 9 times, as I'd been told.
Ulyána trembled from fear and despair. But immediately after she fell asleep, her husband visited her in her dream. The woman saw him behind a great metal gate.
I was standing on the gate's one side, while he was on the other. I think it was the gate to the netherworld.
Suddenly, the gate screeched horribly and opened. And Vasya called Ulyána again. She recalls how she got scared and started running away. It was the last straw. Ulyána is terrified to death, but above all, she worries about her children, whom she loves more than her own life. If something happens to her, her 12-year-old son and 5-year-old daughter will be orphans.
Whenever I look at Nastya and Tima, my dear children, my heart breaks in two. Then I think, God, who will need them after that? Nobody.
The woman doesn't want to die. She has somebody to live for, but she doesn't know how to stop her late husband's spirit.
I really want the psychics to come and help me.
Jana Shulakova and Anna Galliers, the most experienced psychics, answered her plea. The English psychic was supposed to come back from the United States, where she'd been on business, on the eve of the investigation, but she suddenly called us via Skype.
Jana, I can't leave. I'm currently in San Francisco. I was evacuated here together with people from Malibu, and there are no flights from here. Most flights have been canceled or delayed.
What happened?
California is on fire. Jana, it's a nightmare. The sky is filled with smoke. They're extinguishing the fire from planes. Wildfires began, and then the fire spread to people's homes.
The massive wildfires began in California in November 2018. They were caused by dry weather conditions and powerful winds.
It was pure hell. The fire was destroying everything around. I felt people's deaths, and their number was growing rapidly. Do you know what the strangest thing, Jana? Even before the fires began, I was warned I wouldn't be able to depart from California.
Who did it?
A woman's spirit that I saw in Los Angeles.
Who was the woman?
I don't know. She was young and beautiful and had long black hair. But she was all white, like she'd been drained of blood. She asked me to help her. I told her I had a flight soon, and she said, "You won't be able to leave this place anytime soon." And then she vanished.
This is very strange.
Jana, look, while I'm waiting for my flight, I'd like to work with the woman who'd asked us for help remotely.
If you find some information, please call me.
Jana Shulakova asked Yaroslava Fedorova, her another colleague, to join the investigation.
Look, I've just tuned in to Ulyána and saw a dead woman with bloody tears.
Who is this mysterious dead woman, and how is she related to Ulyana's case?
Wait, Anna's calling me. How are you doing?
It's all the same so far, and I still can't depart. But I worked with Ulyana's photo, and the spirit of the woman I'd seen in Los Angeles visited me again.
Who is she? Is she American?
I think she's Ukrainian.
What makes you think so?
She told me her name was Yana, and she'd moved to the U.S. from Ukraine and was murdered here.
Who did it?
Her husband. And I feel that he did something terrible to her.
Wait. I think I know the story. I read about it. A young woman from Kiev went to live in the U.S., and there her husband murdered her and mutilated her body.
Oh my God.
At first we didn't understand what the psychic meant, but then we found the story Yaroslava Fedorova mentioned online. It turned out that the awful murder happened in Los Angeles in 2016. The victim's name was Yana Kasyan. She was 30. The woman was born in Kiev and graduated from a law school. Later, she moved to the United States to study to become an interpreter. After the investigation by the psychics, our journalists contacted her mother, Olha. She told us the love story of her daughter and her murderer.
Blake Leibel is a Canadian who lived in the U.S. He's an author of books and comic books.
Yana met the famous writer at a party in Los Angeles. The man comes from a successful family, among whose friends are Leonardo DiCaprio and other Hollywood celebrities.
She was happy, emotional, cheerful, and in love.
Blake adored his beautiful girlfriend and devoted himself entirely to Yana.
He wouldn't let go of her, kissing her, holding her hand all the time, and calling her my darling.
The couple lived happily for 2 years. Their daughter was born on May 3rd, 2016, and 3 weeks later, the man murdered his husband.
By killing Ariana, he killed all of us. I don't wish anyone to ever experience something like this.
I'm having a strange vision. I see somebody drawing Yana's murder long before her death. It seems to have been a carefully devised plan.
Yana's brutal murder shocked her entire family. They still can't believe that she, whom they all loved so much, is now gone.
I look at her photos and can't help thinking she's alive. She can't be dead. She was a better friend to me than anyone else.
I keep constantly thinking that I'm about to receive a call, answer the phone, and hear her say, "Mom, hello. It's me, Yana."
Olha still can't comprehend why the man tortured her daughter so brutally.
He removed her scalp. He severed her head.
Blake spent 2 days torturing his husband. He cut her with a knife while she was alive and mutilated her face. And then he drained her of blood and dismembered her body, then put the parts in trash bags and threw them in the garbage.
This is why Yana appeared white and pallid to me.
But what does Yana's spirit want from you?
She asked me to help her leave this world, but I don't understand what's holding her here. I feel that there is a mysterious detail to her murder. Then I heard Yana's voice telling me I was murdered by a monster from another reality. I didn't get it. What monster? Could it have been a demon? Was her murderer possessed by another worldly entity? After that, Yana told me, if you want to know who's murdering the Ukrainian woman, look for the answer in my death. And then bloody tears ran down her cheeks.
This is unbelievable, but Jana Shulakova has also seen the woman shedding bloody tears recently.
Is it possible we're talking about the same woman? I felt that something connected Ulyána and Yana.
Did Jana Shulakova really see Yana murdered by her American husband in her vision? But what does her death have to do with what is going on to Ulyána?
Show me Ulyana's photo. Look, a murder,
Yes,
insanity,
yes.
and a love triangle. I don't get it.
Could Ulyána possibly have had a lover? But then again, what it was the murder?
I couldn't understand what murder it was, but the cards told me that Ulyana's husband's death wasn't an accident.
What are the clairvoyant's words supposed to mean? Was the man killed by magic? But what does the insanity mean?
Hello.
Hello?
Come in, please. Thank you for answering my call.
I'm going to ask you a weird question. Did you happen to know the young woman named Yana who was murdered in the United States?
Yana? No. I don't know her.
You see, our colleague Anna Galliers was supposed to arrive today. But she's stuck in the U.S. And there, she was visited by the spirit of Yana, who had been murdered.
It's quite possible that you're connected with her. To find out if it's really Ulyana's husband is trying to kill her, I decided to tune in to his energy. And I saw a strange vision. The dead man was reaching out for his little daughter.
I asked her, "Why are you crying?" And she told me, "Mom, I have a feeling that someone is trying to touch me." And then she added, "I see Dad. Please help me. I'm really worried about my children."
I need to summon his spirit to work with it. Do you have your husband's photo?
I do.
Somebody's hand shook the curtain on the window. Is there somebody in the house?
No.
And then I saw the spirit of Ulyana's husband. He was standing behind the curtain, calling me. He's over there. Let's go, quick.
It's so awful. You know he's gone, but you still feel him in the house, calling you, and other people see him too. This is horrifying.
Yaroslava Fedorova goes to the room where she saw the ghost. Jana Shulakova stops in front of the mirror.
For a moment, I saw the ghost of a woman holding a cat in the mirror. Bloody tears were running down her cheeks, but she disappeared quickly.
What was your husband's name?
Vasya.
He says, I know your greatest wish is for me to hug you tightly. I wanted to tell you about our love, but I couldn't find words. You know you're very dear to me.
and I felt him hug me tightly, like he did when he was alive. Vasya, I love you so much. I miss you a lot, and I'd be willing to give away everything just to have him back.
Is the deceased husband really trying to take away his wife to be with her in the other world?
He fell victim to some otherworldly entity that's hunting you now. Here, look.
So it means Ulyána's husband is not threatening her. But then, why is he calling her from the netherworld?
What is the reason of the things I feel?
He's trying to protect your family.
Your love is even stronger than death. The man's spirit said he missed his wife and children. It wasn't him who was causing the incidents which put Ulyána in danger, and he would never harm his daughter. He was simply trying to embrace her. He'd been waiting for her for so long. He was very happy it was a girl.
Yes, he said he wanted to have a daughter. Vasya was present for the birth, and when Nastya was born, he told me, I love you even more now.
This is incredible. But at the same time, far away, over the ocean, the British clairvoyant felt Yana's husband tells her something similar.
Yana's spirit says her murderer had been dreaming to have a daughter, and when he saw the baby, he was the happiest man in the world.
Yana's family confirmed the clairvoyant's words.
I saw photos of him hug her or kiss her belly and hands.
He was present for the birth. He was very happy he had a daughter.
Yana asked her mother to come to the United States to help her with the baby, who was born on her grandmother's birthday. When she came to visit her daughter, Olha was happy to see her son-in-law's eyes shine with love and tenderness when he embraced his wife and newborn daughter.
The man was head over heels in love, so I couldn't even imagine something this terrible could possibly happen to my daughter.
I don't understand why the man killed her if he loved her so much. And why is Yana's spirit bound to this world? Suddenly, the murdered woman spoke again, mentioning the monster from the other reality, and she told me Blake was also in that reality. But how was this possible? Yana is now showing me a fair-haired young woman, and I hear her shout out curses to Yana. It appears she stood between the wife and her husband, and my feelings tell me she practiced magic.
As it turned out, not long before the murder, Yana's husband, Blake, had a mistress. Coming up, a love triangle and murderous magic. What did Ulyána conceal from the psychics?
A woman tells Yana, leave him. I believe it is related to the love triangle.
Did you sleep with her husband?
Don't miss out. What will the mother of two apologize to the murdered woman's spirit for?
The dead woman with bloody tears. She lacks a half of her hair. She's got almost no face left. She was tortured.
She's looking at me and laughing like this.
You shut the door on her.
I didn't do what I could do.